a lot of us were raised to believe that money is the root of all evil, or that money itself is evil, or we grow up and look at the world and the things that are going on in the news and everything, and we understand that hyper capitalism causes a lot of drama and a lot of bad things to happen to people while other people are getting rich. And we tend to let these type of things influence the way we feel about money, period. And it can cause us to think that if we have too much of it, that we're wrong, or that if we are balling out, that it's you know what I'm saying, it's a wrong thing. Now, depending on how you get your money, that's up to each individual to decide whether or not they're doing the right thing to get the money. But money itself and the ideas we have about it can cause us to like think we don't deserve it, or we shouldn't have too much of it. And even if this is just a deep seated belief about it, and you still know you got to get money, it affects the way you are about it. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to give financial advice or anything like that. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a lot of money. And making a video like this is one way that I confirm these type of things to myself. And but what I'm saying is, if you don't have a lot of money, is it because you haven't been able to get it, or because deep down inside you there's or even at the surface there's a part of you that thinks money itself and capitalism and all of that is the problem? And one thing about communism and capitalism, man, that went on after the World War II, and or during World War II, and after that in the Cold War, um, is that it was the world fighting to decide which was best. And then communism crumbled on itself. So capitalism's not going anywhere. People are going to be out here making money. Companies are going to be out here making money. Governments are going to be out here making money. And so we need to look at the fact that if you take away all these buildings and all of these things, all of these corporations, all these institutions, and everything that man has done, humans have done in the past few thousand years, building up to this, what they call human progress, you're going to see that if you take it all away, we're in the jungle. We'll be back in the jungle or the desert or wherever, just the environment, the natural environment. And all of the things that have been done to build up to where they were, to the way they are from the way they were, are byproducts and efforts of humans to put together these things. There's no big plan or nothing like that. These are things that evolve over generations. Everybody is born into a situation and they deal with it. And in a global scale, we're all born into these economic situations. And so we deal with them as we can. But our beliefs have a lot to do with how much effort we put forth, or the type of things we gather for ourselves, so to speak, you know. But capitalism is not going anywhere. So we just need to deal with that. There's, of course, going to be problems with any economical type of system. But the fact that the earth is still the earth, and if we didn't have all of this stuff, then we'd still be out in the jungle with animals chasing us, is a point that we got to always tell ourselves and remind ourselves. We're not looking for a perfect situation here. Everybody wants a perfect situation, or something that they can deal with their conscience. And they've got all these people, we all have all these people telling us all these different ways that the world should be. But the world is the way it is. And we can change certain things, but trying to say that capitalism don't work as opposed to another system when nobody has ever, all these educated people have not been able to come up with a better system. Communism was supposed to be the answer to capitalism, but they say there's no answer to communism. You know what I mean? And basically, that's to say that what we have here is a situation where people are dealing with value and dealing with effort and time, and the fact that we all have to die, and so we have to a certain amount of time to achieve certain things. And trade it came about naturally. Once it got onto this grand scale and everything, it had to be regulated and all this. And that's where the complications come in, and greed and all of that type of thing. When this person built a corporation and they have millions and millions of dollars, and this other person didn't do much and they only have a little. So is it the corporation's fault that this person has a little? Or is it the fact that when corporations get a certain amount of money, they can influence government policies to make it to where their corporations make more, and then the little man doesn't have a chance to get in at all? But the little man does have a chance. Might not have a chance at this industry or this industry, but there's always innovation. And so to spend effort and time on the fact that it just ain't gonna work, or it ain't right, or we should all love each other and just give, these are obsolete arguments, erroneous. And so we have to deal with the situation that we're in and try to improve the system as it is. And different people are going to find different ways to do this. But as far as value and your bank account is concerned, what can you do to improve it? One thing is to alter your attitude to not, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to sit here with this, like, the law of attraction can be looked at in a lot of different ways. And some people think if you just wish it into being, that it'll all just be all right. But that's a little too religious for my rationality. You know what I mean? Now, the law of attraction is a thing that we can work with, but there's a difference between belief and knowledge. And it's always going to involve work, how much work we're willing to put in a situation. And what I'm talking about with the whole purpose of this video, or what I was touching on at the very beginning, is you might step in your own toes, or you know what I mean, get in your own way if you have this attitude that ambition is bad or being rich is wrong. Like, it's hard enough to get rich when you don't think anything's wrong with it. Now try to get rich when sometimes you want money, but sometimes you think money is bad. And that's the type of attitude that I'm saying. What money really is a scale. It's a scale of value. And that's what I'm about to touch on here in a second. But first, I'm gonna build up to that. There's levels to this, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not giving financial advice. I don't have a lot of money, but I have overcome that part of my mind that said, you know what I mean, like, money is for fucked up people. You know what I'm saying? Or money is for greedy bastards. You know what I'm saying? Or money is for everybody that's tearing us down. Like, when it comes to an individual, you got to break all this cultural shit apart for a second and look at yourself and look at the world around you. Everybody, we're all part of different cultures. And the more time goes and the more melting pot the world becomes, I've got different cultures. Like, you got your racial culture, your artistic culture, your government culture, your political culture, different beliefs you have, different talents you have, different things you're interested in, pulls you into these different parts of the society, which are cultures. Back in the day, you could live in a country and be in a village or whatever, and everybody around you, the differences between you are very minor compared to the differences that are between even individuals in their own home with other individuals, because they all grew up in the same area, but they are interested in different things and talk to different people and associate with different type of things online. And you could be living a whole different type of life than the person that's right in the same house with you, as far as the content you're consuming. And the content you're consuming in the world you surrounding yourself with is going to be the world that you put back out to the world. So back in the day, people would be growing up and they'd all pretty much be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, Now there's so many different ways and ways of the world, but it's all one world, and we have to be able to navigate through these different areas of our life. And most people do it seamlessly, but when it comes down to these basic or core views that we have, they can affect the way that you interact with the world. And if you have this type of viewpoint about money, it can put you in a counterproductive mind state. So it's something you just got to check yourself about. You know what I'm saying? And then when you decide that's not what you want to do, or the way you want to think, then you got to see what you got to do about it. And a video like this is one way to show you a different way to think about it if that's what you're looking for. There's three parts to this situation: the market, you, the individual, and money itself. If you break the whole situation down into these three main topics or headers, then you can see that each three of these things can be acted upon. You can act upon the way you deal with the market, you can act upon the way you deal with yourself, and you can act upon the way you deal with money. And if you can do that, you can expand your horizons, as they say. You can up your chances and opportunities. And when you're in the right mind state for right things, I'm not going to say that just draws them to you, but you kind of talk about it more, so you get around more people that want to talk about it more. It's like a birds fly together type of thing. And then next thing you know, you're in the type of crowd that's got that type of mind state. And then when you surround yourself, if you surround yourself with gangsters, you're going to do gangster shit. If you surround yourself with bankers, you're going to do banker shit. And if you don't figure out how to stay in with the culture of whatever it is, then they're going to give you the boot, or you're not going to feel welcome. So if you get to learn the lingo of people with money and talk about money things and pay attention to money things and get your environment more equipped with things that are related to business, period, you're going to become that person and fit in with that culture. If you broke, think money is bad, and you down to work, but only because you got to for this other motherfucker. If it's that type of situation, then people that got money and strove to get it are not going to even give you the time of day, because in their mind, you're lazy. Now, if you don't have money because it's bad, you are lazy. You know what I mean? Because here's the deal: if if you add value to the market and you're working and you're putting in value to the market, you're gonna get money whether you want it or not. So anytime I've ever done something that contributed to something to where people saw value in it, I made money. Now sometimes there's ways to build up to something, and like you have a plan and it doesn't work out, and you spend a lot of time marketing yourself or whatever, but it wasn't focused enough, or it was the wrong time. Like how the Apple Newton was basically like the iPad, but it came out at the wrong time. Same company put it out, but when they first tried to put the Newton out, the internet connectivity was not up to where it needed to be. You know what I mean? Everybody didn't have a device with them all the time. Once the iPhone came out, it was around that same time that Facebook and all of that was, you know what I'm saying? And then they said, boom, we can make it to where you can do anything on your phone instead of having to go sit down at a damn laptop. But it's because of the timing. Same company, same product, a little tweaks and different, but the timing. And so all these type of things go into it. But if you've always got your mind on what you're looking for and what you're trying to get to next, these type of opportunities, when they arise, you'll know what to say, or you'll jump in the conversation, that type of thing, or you'll present yourself. You know what I'm saying? But every time I've done that with the right timing, I've made money. Every time I've stepped in and said, this is what I need to do, I've made money. If it's time to go work for someone else and they have a good plan that's better than yours was, and they're making money, get in with them and make money. I'm about to do that right now. It's not going to stop what I'm doing, but I found a good opportunity at a good right time, and I'm going to jump in on that and add it and add value to the market and add that value that they're giving to me and my expertise and my skills and my everyday experience, you know? But to get back to the market, the individual and money itself, the market is a reflection of human desire. If you look at different parts of the internet and how when they came about, they got more hits than anything. Even just porn, for example. Porn was something that a lot of people looked at or a lot of people wanted to look at or whatever. But nobody had any idea that the um, the analytics were going to show what they did at once that was all let loose to just be what it is. And the type of videos that people look up and all, these are things that reflect the market's desire. Now, these are things that people never will say. And this video ain't about porn. It's just about that. That was a hidden market. And once it was presented to the world in a way where people could look without other people knowing what they wanted to see, the numbers on the analytics showed some unexpected things. The market is a reflection of what people want. And that's like goes back to the Newton and the iPad thing. People wanted that, but there just wasn't a way to make it pop until the right time when the iPhone came out. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a million examples of this type of thing, you know. But when you're coming up with a product or you're coming with an idea and you're saying, I want to put this on the market and show value and show how much work I put into this idea, and then you put it out and either the time is wrong or the market is just not ready for it, that's value you tried to add that wasn't accepted by the market. And so what you need to change is not your idea that the market is wrong, it's your understanding of the market that's wrong. Or maybe you just didn't have capital. That's a whole different issue. But you know, sometimes if you need help getting started, then that's what you got to do is go find funding. And I'm currently working on that with a radio station that I own, and an internet radio station. And either I'm gonna have to let it go, or I'm gonna have to find someone to help. Now, this is a situation where I know it's a good idea, but even though I have a good idea, I might not have the capital to push it the way I need to for it to become what it should be. And so, as far as the market is concerned, if I can't do one of those two things, get the funding or push it myself somehow, it's going to drop dead. And this reflects on how the market views me. You know what I mean? And when we say the market, it's really just the world and what people want. You got market segmentation and demographics and all this type of thing. If you don't know these things, then you're not going to make your business what it should be, man. You know what I mean? And even if you have them, you got to, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time we got other things going on no matter what we're trying to build. Not many people could just say, hey, man, I've got all the time and money in the world to just make whatever. And if you can, then you probably don't even have a problem with the idea of money to begin with because you were raised around it. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is that there is a parallel between people not having money and the attitude that we have toward it. And that's not always the case. You know, people can get downtrodden or kicked to the curb or have some hard times or whatever, you know what I mean? And you just got to pick yourself up and keep rolling. But it's a lot easier to pick yourself up and keep rolling if you have a positive attitude about what you're doing, is what I'm saying. So the market determines or reflects the desire of humanity as a whole, and the individual has to add value to that in whatever way they can, and that will reflect what your contribution is to the market. If you want to raise your value, raise your contribution to the market. And of course, when it really comes down to it, it's all a psychological thing in the end, man. Even in a business law class I took, um, they say that what makes money valuable is that we all believe it has value. And whatever a person is offering is only worth however much the other person that they're talking to in a given transaction is how much they think it's worth. And that's why we have competition and we have two stores selling the exact same thing, one with a different price than the other. This person who has the higher price thinks that they can get people who value that more or value it for a higher price, you know? But the market still determines, what I'm saying, the average of how much you can fluctuate with that. You can't just go in with a $5 hamburger and charge $10,000 for it. Nobody's gonna pay $10,000 for it. But coffee, different market, different types of things. There are cups of coffee out there that are worth thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Every market's different, or every piece of the market, every piece of the big market's got its own little market ways. You know what I mean? But these are the things we have to learn and pay attention to, and we won't if we have this attitude that money is bad and just let everybody else go get it, and we're not getting it because they're wrong and they're evil and they're assholes. You're gonna be spending money regardless. You're gonna be making money regardless, man. If you're here on earth, man, you're doing it. You're doing it, man. If you're grown, man, you're getting money or you ain't. Or you're getting some, but you could be getting more. Or you're getting a grip, and then you probably ain't even need to watch this video. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case. So I'm talking to people like me who have had issues with money and have had enough sense about themselves to realize that some of their issues with money are related to their mindset about money. And so I could go on and on about this type of thing, but it's really better to make a bunch of different videos about different type of situations that this is involved in. Money itself is a scale. That's all it is. It's a scale. We weigh, if you're going to go to a meat market, you're going to buy some meat. They're going to throw the meat on a scale, tell you got this much meat. This is how much it's worth, because by the pound, each pound is worth this much based on the market conditions. Money itself is a scale to measure this value that I've been talking about. If you owe somebody something, or let's say you go to somebody's house. While you're there at the house, you accidentally break something. Now, what do they want, man? They want you to either replace it or give the value of what it's worth so they can buy it and replace it themselves, or work it off somehow so that that'll equal the amount of time and energy that the sink was worth if you broke a sink. You know what I mean? Let's say you broke the sink. And that's how money is a scale. Time is a scale and money is a scale, and they both are reflections of the same thing. How much effort you put in time is worth this much amount of money. Why is somebody like Steve Jobs? You know what I'm saying? I know that's a little of an old topic. He's been dead for a long time. But as far as innovators are concerned, and getting asked back to a job you got fired from and all that, you know what I mean? Like, he's valued for that. He died in his late 30s, early 40s. I think early 40s, maybe 50s. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're under retirement age, you know what I'm saying, and you die, so compare him and somebody else his age and how much they made in a lifetime and how much he made in a lifetime. And why is his value, why is he viewed and valued so much? Why does he have a Wikipedia page and a million articles about him, and then somebody else doesn't, that died at the same age? Because of the value he added to the market. The value he added didn't just add value to the market, it added value to people who were added to the market to contribute in their way to what he was creating and what his company was doing. Like, if you got an idea that's so good that it takes this many people to get it going, and then now you're giving them money, and then that's supporting their families, that's all value you made. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that works at Apple and is working on one project, one software project, they're worth what they're getting. But he made it to where they could even have a job to begin with. You see what I'm saying? The more people that you can add value to their lives, you know, that raises your value. If I help, I flip a burger, right? I work at Sonic or Burger King or McDonald's. I'm flipping burgers. There's no shame in that, man. I'm getting what I'm getting, man. I'm helping my situation. I'm feeding my people. I'm doing what I gotta do. But each burger I flip and make and put out there only feeds one person. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I'm the manager of that restaurant, then I'm guiding the way that each one of these people develops this burger to get out there. And sometimes that's what it takes, a whole line of people to put out one thing to feed one person. But now if I'm a regional manager, I'm managing every one of these stores and all these managers and each one of these cooks. So I'm adding more value to the market because without me, all of these restaurants would go to shit or a replacement of me, somebody doing this job. And all the way up the line, you got a CEO or a board of directors. And it takes all these people, but whoever created this idea and is sustaining it from the top level, every corporation, every company has somebody up there or a group of people at the top just making sure all this is working so that not just one person can get a burger, but we're feeding people in every city of the country. So, of course, if I'm at the top of that food chain, I get it, food chain, we're talking about burgers. But if I'm up there, man, then my value is worth more because it's affecting more people. I'm making sure a lot of people get fed and a lot of people get paid for feeding people. And every industry has this type of situation, and every company has this type of situation. And the more you add to everybody else's lives is going to be reflected on how much value you are and how much self-worth you have and how much is reflected in your bank account. And this is something I'm telling not you, just you, but also me, myself, man. I put videos out as I learn in life, and the more I put things out like that, it confirms it to myself because it helps me organize my thoughts, man. Because I'm not gonna put something out and just be just saying it. I'm putting it out, and when I put things out, it is a reflection of me. You know what I'm saying? This dude, hey, he said this, so he must feel it and believe it too. If not, I'm a fake. You know what I mean? I'm not here saying I can get you rich. I'm saying that I bet you'll be richer if you don't hate money. Update your optimism, people.